Hello everybody, welcome back to another combat robot build video, and today I'll be building Mr.Roomba version 4. I know some of you might be wondering why I haven't made a video version 3. Well, that was because version 3, it was technically 2.5. I just changed a little bit on the motor mounts that kind of solved the problem, so I'm not going to make a video about that. And by not making a video, I mean by not making a build video. So let's talk about the two major reasons I redesigned and built version 4. So the first major reason was that I noticed I didn't have enough grip on the floor. I would usually just spin around in circles before I get my ring spinning, and that was a major issue to further on in the fights when I even lost more grip from all the debris on the floor. The second reason I redesigned Mr.Roomba, or mainly the ring part, was because the impactor ring, it didn't really do the damage I wanted it to do. The most it's done is probably knock off some wheels or take off someone's drive, but that was most likely due to just pure luck. Okay, so let's go more in depth with the design in version 4 of Mr.Roomba, and the first thing you can see is the ring. It's asymmetric this time. So hopefully going asymmetric I should be able to hopefully spin twice as fast and get the same amount of bite that I got with the last ring. Also, I think you can see the ring here. I'm gonna get 3mm thick titanium that I got from Fingertech Robotics. I'm gonna get that water jet cut, and they're just gonna bolt down to here. But don't worry, I have another titanium ring that's gonna go through the bolts here. That should hopefully reinforce the impacts. So if I compare it to version 2.5 or 3, yeah, the ring's completely different. Another issue I had here was that since there was just so much mass here, or surface area being spun up, I'm pretty sure there had some air or some interference with, I guess air resistance, I guess that's what you would call it. So, and I would notice it by driving. I would kind of drift to one side. So hopefully I shouldn't have that much of or I shouldn't have to fight the air as much when this thing is spinning, since it's not that much surface area. Another reason I put 2 titanium panels here is that hopefully I'll put most of the kinetic energy into these points of the teeth, and that should hopefully do some damage, or even more. Okay, so another issue I had with Mr.Roomba version 4 is that my adapters kept popping out, and that was because I had this adapter here printed out of nylon. Nylon didn't really thread as well, so I had it printed out of I think it was called Innova 1800. I forgot what material it was made out of. I know it's not ABS, but I got that reprinted out of that, and things started a lot more nicer into the build. So yeah. Also, another major thing is that the wheels. So while I was competing robot games with version 3, I purchased some Fingertech Sumo wheels, and I was like, because in one of my matches I just lost grip all over the floor, and I could not spin up without just hockey pucking all over the world, or So I bought those, and so I want to utilize them into this design. Also, they are reinforced from this side here. I'll show that later. So the wheels here were Fingertech wheels with hubs too, and they were pretty good of taking the impacts, but yeah, it just lost grip a lot, or very quickly, due to all the debris on the floor. Okay, so another thing I changed is that if I take off the top plate here, you'll see a lot that's been changed. And let's see. So another major difference with the little chassis of the robot is that this one's a lot more round. I did it so I could put more space in there, because this one got a bit more cramped. I do have some, I don't know, hopefully it reinforces reinforcement here for the bearings, because I had an issue to, I think this was version 2, but I got it fixed by putting a Lexan top plate, but just more in reinforcement, whatever I could do. Okay, so I'll go back to the wheels. Let's see, where's the top? Sorry, this whole thing's a mess. So I have them reinforced with a screw going through here. I have have this insert here that goes into the Fingertech open space here, or the Fingertech Simmer Wheels that has an open space, and then a bearing here that hopefully should reinforce the wheels. Another difference is that this version Roomba is actually 2 millimeters thinner. I don't know, this thing about me trying to make things as low profile as possible. Maybe weight savings or it just looks nice. But yeah, that was 24 millimeters thick, and then this one's 22 millimeters thick. So yeah, hopefully it gives me more weight savings. The ring design, or the internal part, or the gliding part of the ring, it's the same. Nothing's been changed. My my brushless mounting is pretty much the same, just a bit more thinner for weight savings. But that's pretty much it with this design. Yeah, that's pretty much all the improvements I've made to the whole design of the robot. So now let's get to the build. So just like most of my other robots, before I 3D print the whole thing in the expensive nylon, because that stuff ain't cheap, I printed in cheap PLA, and that prototyping stage allows me to spot any obvious flaws in the design, so I could easily change it, reprint it in PLA, and see if it's working again, or works better. So once everything is all working and seems to be fitting properly, I 3D print the whole thing in Alloy 910 nylon from Talman 3D. For some reason I recommend the black because I've had issues with it. Well, I had issues with the natural color because I had a lot of warping, even though I tried it multiple times for multiple hours in the oven. I don't know, it was just very problematic. I don't know what was wrong with it. Maybe I had a bad batch, but that was my experience. That aside, enjoy this unnecessary 3D printing time-lapse of the final version of Mr.Roomba version 4. Now that I have all the parts printed, let's get started with the build. First I'm going to start with the ring. So the components for the ring are, if I get it, the teeth. I actually have 3 of them cut out. I got them water jet cut out of 3mm titanium, thanks to a friend. I also got them countersunk. I have my counterbalances. They look a bit different from the model, or from the 3D model, because I kind of sanded it down to balance them out. And the support ring. Hopefully, if these crack, this keeps all the rings together still. So actually, let's do a comparison. So wondering how this go on. Technically just line them up like that. And screw them down. So here's the old ring. It's actually, I don't even know if you could tell, but just believe me, this is 2mm thinner than this ring, so it means a bit less weight. But we'll see in the total weight whenever I finish building it. Okay, so this is the ring. I'll assemble this later when I finish the chests. So let's get to the chests. So here's the chassis for the new version 4. As you can see, it's a lot different from the original one. Let me go get that right now. Here's the the old chassis. You can tell it's a lot more round. Also, the placement for the wheels are different, or the parts for the wheels are different because this version used the FingerTech hubs, or the light tires. I forgot what these are called, but yeah. Also, the battery compartment's a bit bigger, because I had a slightly larger battery. This time I'm using a smaller battery, which is right here. I don't know how this is going to do in any rumbles. I might end up killing this, but I'll see when I go to my first event with this version. So another issue that I had with this chassis was that this part right here that held the spring in, I don't know if you can see, can you see that? If you can. Yeah, this kind of slid off. Take the screw out. I don't need these screws anymore. Okay, don't know if you could see that, but I had to put a piece of hot glue, which filled, to prevent this spring part from coming off. So in the new version, I'll put this away. The new version is a bit more supported here, so I hope it wouldn't, or I hope it's not going to come off. So it's a bit more enclosed compared to the other one. It's also, again, 2mm thicker, no, thinner. I'm using the same type of brushless mounting style. Actually has like clips in here that actually spring back. You might be able to see it a bit well here. You could just press it down, and when you slide the peanut gearbox in there, it'll just snap in, and they won't come out. So, as you can tell, this is different. And that is because I am not using these FingerTech wheels anymore. Yeah, they're not gonna spin if I even try to use them. So while I was at Robo Games, I bought these. These are the FingerTech Sumo wheels. Oh, come on, focus. They're a bit heavier, but hopefully they should get rid of the one issue I had with the whole robot spinning when I spin up, because they're pretty grippy. Yep, and these fit just perfectly in here. Yeah, I also reinforced the back of these wheels. I printed this little hub thing and put a bearing in here that held it in. Hopefully that should put half of the shock that would have been taken into the motors into this part. Yeah. As I'm done talking about this, let's talk about the components going in here. So electronics wise, it's basically the same thing as the previous version 2.5 and 3. One thing I completely forgot was that I have the motors for the ring. These are still the motors that I've used before. This is actually the original motor that's actually been in version 1. This isn't epoxied yet, but this is a 3000 kV motor. It's kind of crazy, a bit stupid, but it works. And then here's the newer motor that I've switched to. It's a, I think it's a 2000 kV 2206. Once again, I'm using a lot of parts that are using mini quads. It works. This connector is just amazing because I could just hot swap whatever I want. Just like plug them in. The connector is a it's called an MT30. If you want to try using it, it's pretty good. Once again, actually, this time I'm going to keep this to be a PLA. I don't have any fear of it shattering. I had an issue where the nylon one would actually start bending just because of how flexible it would be, so it would just bend over time. This one's been epoxied. And yeah. So, let's go back to the build. Oh, I forgot about that. Where to check your wires because that could happen. Okay, I gotta resolder that. Here is the top plate that I'll be using. It's a nice piece of Lexan that I've CNC machined with the next curve that I had access to at the time. So I'll just be putting this on, and the chassis should be finished. Almost done. I just need to add the risers so this thing's leveled, and I should be done with this. Okay, so the whole chassis is complete. Have all the screws in. The motor spring, so I'm good with that. So next is the ring. So I'm going to assemble that now. Okay, so today is the next day, and I got everything charged up and everything else that needs to be assembled. So this is the final version, or finished version, of Mr.Roomba version 4. As you can see, there's no really, I didn't really change anything between when I cut the video. So time for the moment of truth to see if it starts up.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Switch my model.
Idle up deactivated.
Okay, let's see how this looks. So, now, I turn it on. I'm not going to spin it. Safety reasons, you know. So I just want to see if it drives. So there we go. Oh yeah, I kind of did that ring, or that tone. There's a tutorial somewhere online that you could find out how to do that, but that's the power of Heli 32 ESCs. It's probably just the only reason I got them, except for the current limiting. That's also another thing I want to get them for. But okay, let's see if it drives. I drive tank, so it's gonna be tough. Yeah, it drives. Okay, what happened there? Oh wait, you know what? That was probably just the weapon motor arming. Anyways, I have it disarmed, so we're safe. That sounds kinda funky. Okay, fast as usual. See that? Just know that I had to actually put a 40% throttle limit for this, for the drive, because it just went way too fast, and I have to set up some custom curves for it. So yeah, that's that. I need to center this stick here. It's not self-centering because I actually fly drones, so I'll set it later. But I'm pretty happy this thing was working right now. Actually, maybe I could test spin it. So let me do it on here to make sure that I scrape my dust when I spin it. Okay. I'll walk back and see you again. Okay, everything seems to be working properly. I have the weapon disarmed. I'm not going to spin it up once again, like all the way, because safety reasons. I'll do maybe more testing outside. So, this is it for the final version of Mr.Roomba version 4. Well, actually, I do have some decals coming. It's going to be the same design scheme as version 2.5, which was the carbon fiber decal around the rings and the back here, and the classic tuxedo. So maybe I'll do a little update or something when that's coming in the mail, but this is basically it for Mr.Roomba version 4. So here's a small little update on the build, and I did get the decals for Mr.Roomba and they look amazing. Also, Mr.Roomba alongside with 3 other robots competed at Destruction Under the Stars 2018, and I will do a recap video on that, just stay tuned. I also have a Instagram and a Facebook page if you want to see a lot more combat robot related builds or any updates on them, which will be all linked down below. So everyone have a good day.